Welcome back to Newsday. Thank you for staying with us. Now, in local news, residents of Imini community, which is an agrarian community in the Afigio local council district of Oyo State, has warned of an imminent food crisis if the Arun Bridge, which is the only access route into the locality, is not fixed. Our Rise correspondent Olutayo Famous Call has more details in this report.
It's a sad tale for residents of Imini community since the collapse of the Arun Link Bridge, which connects Imini to Ilora and other parts of Oyo State.
Since the collapse of this road, as you can see, the motor cannot, no vehicle can pass through this road again. No vehicle can pass through it. The motorcyclists passing it, you can see the stress they are passing through. It's not easy. People cannot pass through. So, foodstuffs are being wasted when they could not be transported. So, both the community and the people in the bigger towns are suffering. And there's a waste, it's economic waste, as you can see.
So with how
we have been managing, compounded with the collapse of the bridge, and it has been up to 3 months now that any vehicle has gained access to this community. If you had come yesterday, you would see firsthand how our people encounter hardship. Farmers are worse hit, as many of them have had to contend with losses. We need help.
Located in the Afigio local council district, which is about 20 kilometers off the outskirts of the Ibadan metropolis, the sleepy town lacks access roads, potable water, electricity, and social amenities.
I personally, last week, I uproot about 17 tons of cassava in my own personal farm. But it is giving me a great problem to transport it to the market. So all the cassava and the yams, they are wasted. So we are begging the government of Oyo State, the government of Nigeria, in the sense that they can help us to construct this road. So our people in Imini, they are very suffering to go to Oyo, Ilora, as we are doing before.
The challenges we encounter are enormous. Our teachers that come from distant locations cannot access the community. Motorcycles are not available. Students can only come to school once or twice in a week due to the collapsed bridge. So we want the government to assist us.
Commercial motorcycles are the only available means of transportation since the collapse of the bridge. Many of them have run out of business due to the unmotorable road network.
People in need of urgent medical attention are the worst hit. No transport, no hospitals, and many lives have been lost due to poor road network.
Students are not left out, as many of them have been unable to attend lectures after the bridge caved in.
We have been facing a lot of problems getting to school since the collapse of the bridge. Even our students, some of them have not been able to come to school. You can see the number of students present are very, very low to what expected. So we are appealing to the government to please come to our aid so that we can get to school as early as possible.
The lawmaker representing Afigio local government lamented the deplorable state of the bridge. He appealed to the state government to wade in and fix the bridge.
In 2018, we had tried to include it in one of the World Bank roads that should be done in Oyo State. That was before the administration changed. but up till now, it hasn't been able to come to fruition. It's such a strategic road, especially for a state like Oyo, where agric is one of our priorities. Access to markets, access to the rest of Afidjo, access to schools, it's such a critical road. It is my sincere hope that, we will get the road fixed.
As the clock continues to tick, residents can only hope that government turns a listening ear by looking in their direction.
It's now more than 30 days since this link bridge collapsed. Many businesses, well-being and lives have been affected. Residents want all concerned authorities to fix this link bridge so that life can return to normal. Olutayo Famous Co. Arise News, Imini.
In other news, there are fears that the east-west road may be impassable in the coming days except flood waters recede. This is because some parts of the road have been washed away by the current, leaving motorists and passengers spending at least 5 hours on the short stretch from Olokobo to Okogbe in Rivers State. Arise correspondent Ovietime George has this report.
From the rainforests, waters escape through the barriers along the east-west road. The current flows fiercely to the other side, where a petrol tanker lies prostrate and beaten by the rushing waters. The east-west road is flooded at the Olokobo and Okogbe axis, not very far from Ahoda in Rivers State. Here, the gridlock weaves a tale of frustration as passengers alight from vehicles to join others trekking the long distance.
Cameroon open is now. Cameroon tell Nigeria to do their own. Make it 100 feet. Because they know that their own is 50 feet. Nigeria refuse to do their own. Look at how we are suffering. The bad leaders we have scattered the whole country. Thank you.
The situation is horrible. We never expected it to be like this. In fact, one part of the road has cut into two. So what you see now is just a narrow path where one vehicle can pass at a time. That is the reason for this traffic you are seeing. And I have been on this traffic for over 3 hours. I have also experienced it this morning at about 9, somewhere around Patani. By now, that place should be impassable because 3 trailers have fallen down.
The federal road has been blocked for over 3 hours. We have been in this very traffic because of the flood. The flood is coming with a very big heat at that. So that's why I'm doing this to enable us, because I'm traveling to Lagos to enable us to move ahead.
We left Warri by 9 and we finally got to this place by a few minutes to 12. So the driver said it's no longer going, that his colleague told him the road is completely blocked. So we had to alight and, everybody's finding their way. Everybody's finding their way home. Whatever this thing leads to, we don't know.
At various points, the trekking-tired travelers hop onto the back of trucks and open vehicles. There are also instances where some desperate travelers do not mind any form of assistance to climb out of the surging waters.
I took a bus from DSC roundabout heading to Port Harcourt, but on getting to a place there called Kebo, I don't know the actual name, we're told the buses could not move any further. So I've been walking for the last 1 hour, and I've seen vehicles that have fallen on the side, and a lot of commuters are walking. The traffic is really long. It will take quite a lot of time before this queue goes off. The soldiers are actually trying to ensure there's orderliness on the traffic. Aside that, it's a mess, a total mess.
You can see the flood. Cars are stranded, people are stranded, they cannot even move. In fact, no movement at all. And then the most annoying part is that the road, one part of the road is already broken. So there's only one lane, and that's why I see this hold up now. So if you're not careful, your car will just jump to the river, and that is all. In fact, we pray that God will help Nigeria.
For a mother with twin babies, it is a harrowing experience traveling on a flooded road, but many are determined to continue the journey. The coming days may be scary as flood waters continue to rise on the Trans-Niger Delta Road.
It's very, very tough and critical. I will advise anybody coming from Bayelsa State to Port Harcourt to be very, very careful. If they can't face the pressure, then they should stay at home.
That money, when they don't pay federal government, when they bring and come, give us. Nothing like East-West Road. You don't break down. You don't tear, you don't pull out. Don't pull out. We don't know where would they go again. Federal government people, we don't know where on the carriers they go this time around. So they suffer. Wanna do something.
It is difficult. I don't think that people can pass through this path. By tomorrow, this water, nobody except tipper, no vehicle can pass. But if there is anything the government can do, let them help the people.
I spent almost 5 hours instead of 10 minutes on the short stretch of the Lokobo and Okobe axis of the East-West Road. The prayer is for the flood to recede, but if that doesn't happen, then some states in the Niger Delta will be inaccessible by road. Ofieteme George, Arise News.
All right, now Katsina State Governor Aminu Masari says the past population censuses conducted in the country did not achieve intended purpose as they were, in his words, highly and wrongly politicized. Masari, who spoke during the 2023 Population and Housing Census Stakeholders Summit in the state, said politicization of past censuses was what had kept the country from developing the way it should have. The summit was organized by the National Population Commission. He said nations of the world which had experienced substantial growth and development had, at one time or another, conducted non-partisan census exercises to know how to equally distribute wealth. He, however, said that with the availability of modern technology, there were expectations that the 2023 census would not be as defective as past ones conducted in the country.
So indicating every household, we will be able to identify the number of people in that compound. You can no longer come and create a village that does not exist, create a community that does not exist. Take what is not his, and the whole convergence at the federal level of the resources, you have distorted the distribution of the resources so that they can be beneficial. So that's why we have been living on falsehood.
The goal of the State Stakeholder Summit is to broaden support levels base for the successful conduct of the 2023 census. The specific objectives are: 1. To create public awareness on the conduct of the 2023 census, including its imperatives, methodology, and timelines. 2. To promote robust and informed conversation on the processes and procedures for the 2023 census. 3. To solicit the cooperation and support of state-level stakeholders for the conduct of the 2023 census. 4. To provide a platform to offer clarification and receive feedback and suggestions on salient issues and concerns related to the conduct of the 2023 Population and Housing Census.
All right, for more on this, Arise analyst Kayode Otitoju joins us today. Good day and welcome. Pleasure to have you here as always.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Let's get straight into this. Governor Masari made reference to the use of technology, hopefully being able to rectify some of the challenges faced in the past. However, do you think where the census is concerned, technology can actually overcome the allocation of the reasoning behind the anomalies, which is allocation of revenue and of course political representation? Is technology just going to, skate over those issues and correct them?
Well, in other countries, technology could help. Our problem is not so much of that of accurate counting or use of technology or what have you. Our problem is political. census in Nigeria, since after the independence, has never been acceptable because it's fraught with political manipulations. And so technology, yes, can assist because census is real total head count of people within a geographical zone. And it must be counted. It's different from mere sample or what have you. And but with the way we are living, the settlement, so many people without houses, some are under the bridge, and they have to be counted so that they could be planned for. It's really very difficult, even when you are using technology, geomapping, using cadastral and all sorts of mapping, used even area photograph in order to capture remote areas that may not be visited on that day of census. You still find that actually, even when the figures are ready, they are still manipulated to meet the trend in the
trend that enables for them to be politicized.
Extrapolation, the word, and extrapolation of the figures. So our census figures are based on extrapolation, not the real figure we get, because it has been wrong and it has been faulty right from 1960. In fact, the census of 1963 was rejected by the Western region and was rejected by the Eastern region because of manipulation. And since then, they just use a certain maybe rate to extrapolate and say, yes, what was 55 million in 1963 is now about 211 million today, 2022. So, to conduct acceptable census in Nigeria with what they use it for, sharing of the monthly money from Niger Delta, and which is what they use, and now having more, more local government areas. Okay? I don't see census figures being taken nationally as a reliable figure because of manipulation. Even when they are posting people to head the National Population Commission. There was a time, someone left Nigerian breweries as the MD, and later he was now made the chairman of National Population Commission. The moment he couldn't stand the manipulation and whatever, he resigned. So there are so many things that are going on in using data as basis for resource sharing and what have you.
Now, while you've paint that vivid picture, it doesn't even look like, technology being introduced is going to do much to actually salvage this situation. Do you think it might be time to involve probably an independent body to carry this out that might not necessarily be subject to manipulation, even though as long as we have humans involved, manipulation is almost a guarantee?
Yeah, with an independent body. But even the independent body they will still report to the chairman of the National Population Commission.
So do we have roles to play, though, regular Nigerians? You know, and I know that the governor of Katsina urged the traditional rulers and stakeholders to cooperate.
I was really surprised that this thing is coming from him, because with someone like him so disenlightened, it means that we have future. We have future, because the problem of manipulation is always from one side of the country. And it's like, you know, the population must remain as it is, even the projection. For instance, how can you, in the 2019 census, the projected figure, Kano was put at 14 million. Lagos was put at 12 million. How can?
Yeah.
How can?
So what do you think of the timing of the 2023 census? Because, of course, it's coming immediately after an election. And, you know, critics and analysts are saying that this makes it ripe for manipulation, because we'll be coming right out of a season where we're trying to settle down. We're trying to restore a sense of stability into the country. And that's the time you want to send people out to start counting.
It can't work.
So how do we maneuver this? How is the timing supposed to work? How, you know, what can we do? What are the suggestions?
Okay. The 2023 census is scheduled for April. The Nigerian general election is February, March. And when you say election is February, March, it doesn't mean that it will end in March, because there will still be, you know, reason to, you know, disagree and what have you. So, which may still linger for another 3 months, okay? And within this, you have already given the time that we do the 2023 census. It can work. And the process of counting means that actually either you are using whatever, either technology or whatever, you have to count everybody. How do you count someone in the bush that has been captured maybe for almost 3 months? Okay? Because it's the total counting of all the citizens. Either you are using de jure or de jure means that actually you count people based on their base, their hometown, no matter where they are at the day of census. Why the other one, what is de facto? Why de facto means you can't, you know, wherever people are on the day of...
I hope that we can dig deeper into this issue on another occasion. Yeah. Unfortunately, our time is fast spent. Kayode Otitoju, we always appreciate when you come in and share your insights, and hopefully next time we'll have more time.